You guys did message me and put it in the comment section down below on last week's video, and you know what it is, as the title says. We've gone through and made all of the infographics for you guys for the hero gems as well as the tactic gems. And what we're going to do is actually explain to you guys these different strategy based gems so you know exactly what to run on your matches. Because to be honest, the strategy based gems doesn't really need an infograph compared to these guys, the hero gems and the tactic one. So if you like today's video, smash a like, comment and subscribe, and let's dive into it. So I'm going to teach you the fail safe way of using strategy gems. Honestly, if you just follow what I'm about to say, you will not go wrong with your matches, because honestly there's two gems that you care about in this area, and that is either your unit health, which is obviously highlighted already, or the unit capacity, which is inlaid right now. These two gems are the best of the best. The reason why is unit health is the best gem to actually survive, to actually give you a bit of tankiness in your match, because this is allowing your troops to potentially take an additional hit because they've got more health than the actual damage coming in, which is very, very powerful, again, in trading. When it comes to your unit capacity though, this is your damager, right? This is where a lot of your damage is scaling up from, because you've got so much many troops compared to your enemy. And you normally will feel this, especially if you're hitting your unit capacity buffs and you've got that 130, 140, 150,000 troops and you attack someone with only 120, 110k. You can feel the difference of that 30, 40,000 extra unit capacity and the amount of damage that's scaling up from what you have. So unit capacity is very powerful in that regard. The only thing you ever need to worry about when it comes to unit attack and unit defense is you will slot this on your match if you do not have unit health or unit attack capacity. So if you're trying to run unit health and you don't have it, just put some defense on. You're going to be fine. And once you can, put on your unit health, right? Replace them straight away for unit health. Same with attack. You can put your unit attack gems on your march until you get some legendary unit capacity ones. And then as soon as you do, boom, it's going to be traded up because it's a better instance for your march, right? The only thing we haven't mentioned is gathering speed. I'm not going to go too crazy onto this because I know you guys in the comment section will probably start mentioning it, or well, I'll be like, why have you not mentioned gathering speed, Sneaky? I know what you like, right? But the gathering speed one, just put it on your gatherers, right? And the beautiful thing about the gathering speed one, it gives you 8% in total for your march, because you're going to get 2, 4, and then 6% from the helmet. But then you can also put it in that first slot, right, of your boots. So that's going to give you an extra 2%, which is 8 in total. So that's the only thing you need to worry about in the strategy-based area. When it comes out of here, if it comes to certain formations, just to give you guys some explanations of some cool things that you can be doing and what people are doing, is stuff like with your Ramses march, right? If you've got Ramses with Charlemagne and Theodora, right? In this match, you could run a unit capacity setup on Ramses, so his helmet will have 3 unit capacity, but then for your Charlemagne and for your Theodora here, you could be running double unit health. And by doing that, you're gaining 6% extra health and then 1.5 is it extra units as well from your gems. And this is really powerful when you're healing through the Theodora and through the war tactic of that Charlemagne, and your troops are just surviving that little bit longer while you're just banging, and you're banging people with that Ramses damage, right? So that's a really good, cool little combination that you can be doing on your marches. But in general, when it comes to your helmet, just put on unit capacity or unit health. You're gonna be good. I'm telling you now. Either one, you're Gucci, right? So now let's get on to the main event, the fun part that you're all been waiting for. And that's going to be your infographics you guys have been asking for. So this is going to be what I would call the master cheat sheet for Age of Empires Mobile. This does tell you every gem to put on any hero in the game, because this is what is going to scale all of their abilities the highest, right? And that is just simply by just looking at the skills and telling you what they're going to be doing, right? There is some exceptions, and you'll see them right at the very top here, where I've got a Shocker and I've got Octavian there as optional heroes, because if you look down below, their main skills will scale off might. Basically, 60% or more of these troops in this game all scale off might, and that is just the sad truth. And if you're trying to get triple red might gems or even triple legendary might gems, right, and then you're going for your second and third march, you'll start to come to that realization that it's a lot of might gems that you're going to be needing. And to lessen off the burden, you might just put on some all attributes instead. Just kind of substitute for now until you get that might needed later on. Because the thing is, with Octavian and Ashoka, they actually do have the capabilities of going all attributes. Even though if you went for a full might steroid, you are actually probably going to justify more damage and reasonable buffing still from this hero. Because when we go to our attributes overview, you can see there's a 92 and 88 base level, and we've got a 0.99 increase, which is really nice on the strategy. It's basically +1 almost, and then we've got the 1.04 on the might. And when you go to his main skill, this is going to be scaling off might and strategy, which does allow you to get away with using all attributes. But when you go to his other skills, everything, no matter where you look, even in the epics, right, every skill is might. No matter what, you will not see strategy here. So even though he is a hero that is in strategy based marches like Hannibal, like Belisarius, with Elizabeth, right, you name it, he actually wants might, and he wants a bit of maybe both in some scenarios if you're just trying to make it a little bit, you know, easier to obtain a full red gem setup, for example, right? So that's one example of it, and that's going to be obviously with our Ashoka here. So that's why he's an optional one, as well as if you look down below, his main one will be might, in my opinion, right? Above him is all the strategy-based users. Here we've got the armor-based users, and then we've got some siege-based users too, because there is that one siege march in the game, which uses the free-to-play players setup that you could be getting in-game. And if you don't know about this, I'll just give it a little bit of a highlight, a little bit of love for everyone, because you could be running a Josephine with like a double attack state and all this little fun jazzy stuff, but the real creme of the creme is the fact you got like Hammurabi as well as I believe King Derek that use stuff like siege and plunder, which increases your siege stat, and by increasing that siege stat, you're going to be dealing more damage to, you know, buildings, right? Any sort of like building structure. That's the best way of putting it, right? So this is really cool because every point increases the skill effects of it. So it's a nice little build there. But again, it's a specific build. So if you are looking for gems for Hammurabi here, even though we've got him in the siege category and I don't have him down below, he is going to be a might base user if you're looking for a PvP build, which uses just the Sunder and obviously the route base damage effects there, right? And when we look at the other two guys, I love these two, our good old friend Seong the Grey and Barbarossa, some of the only users in the game that actually scale off armor, and that's what makes Barbarossa an absolute tanking monster, which people don't realize, because when you go into his attributes, he has 101 base armor. This guy is hitting you like a wet noodle, but he is tanking you like a motherfucker. I don't even know, an immovable object, right? He's one of the highest based armors in the game, which is crazy when you see it. But it makes sense because his signature skill is an armor bonus, and armor bonus. There's 3 different areas that all scale off armor, especially with your good old friend, the metal for open field swarming. This does scale off armor and might, but there's no point. You might as well just go full armor and just take advantage of your main skill and get some good benefit out of it for this skill. And what's even more impressive, if you switch him out to a tenacity build just so you can run a Cyrus rally march, because people should know now you run tenacity for rally, you run metal for open field, right? If you run this, it's an armor bonus too. So it's just absolutely crazy when you're just scaling so much armor that this guy doesn't take any damage, and it's going to make your troop again just get even more tanky. It's so fucking ridiculous. It's kind of crazy. Sion the Great is the exact same in that boat, and if you look down in any of the other orders, if you check out your favorite heroes now, you should be able to see them. And the thing is, if you guys are getting scared, don't worry, that entire infograph is going to be on my Discord. So you can check out the link down in the description down below now. And if you do, you can come and join, go through the admin area. So select your roles, make sure you've set yes on the rules and you put a thumbs up right for it, and join the Age of Empires mobile crew. And by doing that, you'll get access to all of the infographics that you're going to see in today's video, right? So let's move on to the next section, which is going to be the tactics for your marches. So now it's the fun part. It's all about tactic gems for your marches. These are the ones that really do make an impact on the skills and what is that march truly trying to achieve in game. And from the top to the bottom, we've got our hero recovery gems, our turn-based gems, our secondary strike skill gems in the middle. Below them is the passive based gems, then the true normal attack gems, and at the very bottom here is the hero attack active gems, right? And if we hide myself, you can see YSG is there, and all of these pictures that you're seeing, so technically this tactic image as well as the hero image here, will be on my Discord. Remember, it's gonna be there, so check it out in the description down below. You can join it, find the image in the Age of Empires mobile guides area, and it's gonna be there forever for you guys, or you can always check back on this video. But what we're gonna do is go through obviously some of the heroes on here, because there is technically 2 mistakes on here, but I was waiting for you guys to see if you can spot them, and we're going to go through each of those heroes because they were requested on the last video, and one of them is a brand new hero, which is quite fun, right? So the first one we're going to talk about, if you guys have not guessed it, it's going to be Tribuana. Tribuana is a really funky hero because when you look at this hero as a support warrior, you can check out of her skills, and she's going to increase your activation chance. It's going to increase our might, so we know we're going to be running might based gems on this hero, and she's recovering those units, right? But when we look at her skills, this is a passive based skill. Her King's Blade is a turn-based skill which deals damage and increases all the heroes' damage by 20%. Then we've got the Righteous Judgment, which deals a nice bit of damage too and reduces all enemies' hero might and strategy by 60, and this is a might bonus. But this is an active-based skill. So we've got 3 different types of skills that we could be using on this hero, right? And the thing is, if you try to go for a turn-based gem, it would make sense because you're trying to increase this damage, but you're not really impacting the other, marches, gems. You're not really actually helping out these other skills. The same as if you go for the active gem, right? If you go for the hero active gem here, you are going to be increasing the Righteous Judgment effectiveness and how good it is. But you're not going to be doing much with King's Blade or the Ode of Tiava, right? You're not going to be doing either of them. And the thing is, when you look at my good old little list here, you'll see that I put her in the troop normal attack damage. And to be honest, you could do that and it might work and it might do some good for her. But the actual position for her, as you guys may guess it, is back up at the top there. It's where our Elizabeth is gonna go, and these 2 are technically in the wrong positions, just for a little bit of education. See if you guys could guess it in today's video, so I've been trying to make these a little bit more entertaining for you, right? If we put hero recovery on our Tribuana, it is actually going to be pretty good, because the thing is, when we recover units, that is increasing our troop count higher, right? And the higher our troop count is, as we already know from those gems, it is going to increase the damage of both of these skills. And that is one thing I would rather do. I'd rather recover units to try to increase both of these skills. And if I recover more units with my Tribuana, you got to think, with the Yoda giving you that damage immunity state, you might have that time of 1 second where you get to heal for free. And if you get that extra bit of oomph in your gems, Tribuana is just an absolute monster for it. So for me, I'm going to put Tribuana all the way up at the top there in the hero recovery section. And she is honestly one of the harder ones to go down. Honestly, she's a very difficult champion to think of what gem choice you want to go out and what is going to be the maximum benefit for her. But for me, I'm going to put her up in the hero, obviously, recovery stage, which leaves us with our good friend Elizabeth. And you guys should know, I absolutely love Elizabeth, right? She's a brand new tactical pikeman in game. And one thing which is really interesting, and me and shout out to Sonic, right, another new content creator from our alliance who's just started out. So if you want to check them out, because they do some really good testing and showcasing of Empire 64's, you know, fighting in Battle of Dawn and stuff. We were talking about Elizabeth, right? And Elizabeth is a very interesting hero in game, because the thing is, when you look at her skill, she disables all recovery effects for your troops, and when she deals damage, she triggers the assimilation effect, which converts damage dealt from your troops into troops. So that is very important, because what that means is, at the moment, from what we've tested, hero recovery based skills and obviously rings like the ring of the shark won't actually reduce the amount of healing she's doing, because she's actually not healing, she's converting units, which is a different thing, which is very, very interesting. And that is why when we go into our good old guide here, right, we've got her on troop normal attack damage, because the thing is, when you look at, again, any of her skills, she's doing passive based skill here, but it's no damage. She's increasing the damage and how damage is actually calculated. When we go into her more skills, Tudor of Rose, again, is a passive based skill, and whenever this assimilation triggers, you get in reduction of damage. So again, not really too much help there. And what you could be running, which I am going to be running, and some people are, is triple offensive, and this is giving you damage of one of each type or increase the damage taken by, you know, the unit. So you can see here, there's not really a really good solid damage-based gem. So the best actual gem to pick on his hero is going to be that troop normal attack, because even with more damage on her normal attacks, she's going to convert at least more troops to your march. So when it comes to all of our hero gems now, let's go through some more fun ones, because obviously now you guys should guess on how we've got our heroes set up now, right? We've got Tribuana at the top, Elizabeth here at the bottom. And if you go through any of these heroes, for example, it will make a lot of sense. So Mansa Musa, really big popular one that people love, right? If we go and find him in game, right? I've put him on the hero recovery route, and that is, again, pretty simple, because if you go onto him, or even Mehmed for the exact same reasons too, when we go to Mansa Musa, he's honestly healing. He's healing so much damage, it is unreal. He's reducing the damage he takes, which is really nice. Obviously deals might damage to the enemy, which is nice. But recovery rate is here. You've got the Golden Odyssey, which recovers as well. And you're running Metal, which recovers as well. It's just, you've got so much recovery in this kit. It is bonkers. And if you're, again, in a rally scenario, you're running tenacity, which is just recovery rate, bruh. So again, this is why running recovery rate gems on him is just going to make him a super tank, a super healer in this game. And that's why we've got him at the very top there. So on the very top row, it should make sense to you guys on all of those gems that we've got there. The turn-based ones is really easy, and the thing is, what I wanted to mention here is Ramcam, because Ramcam's a really interesting hero that I've got there, and I know some people are going to be like, are you crazy, Sneaky? What you doing? But hear me out, right? Ramcam is one of those heroes, again, that can be ran in two different ways. You can run hero recovery runes on him, and the reason why is you could just go down the tank build, which is tenacity and Peaceful Haven. And if you run this build's really good in a rally. So if you're running it in a rally, you want those hero recovery, you know, effects. However, most people are running the War Elephant and Savage combo, right? And this is because if you run this combo, when you're cheesing out of the cities, and you can thank me later for all the people that are now jumping out of cities and jumping back into cities with their martial pikemen, every time you're doing that damage, obviously you want as many damage skills as possible. So it makes more sense to run as many of these damage-based skills, and because you're running damage-based skills, it makes more sense to run turn-based damage runes. So, or gems, should I say, not runes, but gems, right? So that's what I'm talking about. It's a really interesting one, and depending on the way you're building your martial pikeman to be either a rally march or a open field march is going to dictate if he's going to go for those hero recovery runes or if he's going to go down the turn-based gem runes. But everyone else, if you go down, is quite self-explanatory. I'm going to be honest. You've got all the secondary strike users there. Those are all the commanders that are in game that has secondary strike skills and run 2 or more secondary strike skills for their march to get the most effectiveness out of them. We've got the passive base users, which are basically your warrior pikemen for now, that use passive base damage based skills. The troop normal attacks, these are guys that generally just increase or do some sort of, stat buffing for your account. So again, if you look at something like Attila or even Timur, both of these heroes in game just buff, right? They're just all about buffing, right? This is a passive buff. It doesn't really do all. This is another passive buff. And again, doesn't really do any damage. And then this is a passive buff, again, doesn't really do any damage. So people like Timur and Attila, when they're in these type of scenarios, just putting troop normal attack damage on them is really good. And you can see in the earlier scenario, I did also put Charlemagne in that count. And Charlemagne is a little bit of an exception, depending on the, build you're going to be running. Because the thing is, if we go into it, he has a passive base skill. Everyone should know what Charlemagne does by now, but he has the war tactic, which is an active base skill that deals damage and recovers troops. But if you're running the build I am running, which is the Sowing Discord build, well, this is all about stealing stats, and it's a secondary strike skill. So again, this is 3 different skills that are really a bit weird, and you could even argue for our good friend Charlemagne here that he can run troop normal attack damage or hero recovery, depending on what you kind of want to prioritize for this hero. He's in a weird spot. It is what it is, right? But this is what I would say for Charlemagne. You can run either one. It's going to be fine for you. It's going to do the job basically for your march. And then at the very bottom here, if we just hide ourselves, because again, we are hiding YSG, we got YSG, Solomon, we got Ramses, Mia, YSS, all of them, all of the active skill base users. So these are just guys that use active base, skills in their kits, again, 2 or more times. Or if their main damage output, like Ramses, is an active base skill, then we have to just emphasize that so you can do as much damage as he can with that skill. So that's kind of the only kind of exception on the rule that we've been doing here so far. So there you go. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. I know it's kind of been a long video, and what can I say? It's taken me a long time to kind of make this video because I've had to go in game. I've had to honestly take screenshots of every hero. I need to, delete the background, make those infographics for you, and then obviously start recording and getting everything done for this video. So hopefully you guys have appreciated the effort that we've put into today's video. And if you enjoyed it, smash like, comment, and subscribe. And again, just for you guys' sake, all of these hero, infographs here are going to be available on my Discord. And just if you want to be a little bit cheeky, you can take a screenshot of it right now, as well as this one. If I hide myself, boom, right now. And that will be the actual complete infograph. That's everything that you need to know. This is for all of your tactic gems and all of your hero based gems. And if you're looking for strategy based gems, just rewatch the beginning of the video and you should be golden, right? So that is everything. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Smash like, comment, and subscribe. Till the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.